Right, so this is going to be a tutorial video on the Swamp Gossips alternate exit. Firstly, I wouldn't recommend this for beginners. It is quite complicated, especially if you're not too comfortable with bomb tricks like hovering, mega flips, and just generally, if you're not looking for a top-ish time, there are alternatives that you can do to get bottle then sonata, so you can cut this out. It is quite a reset heavy trick, so if you're not comfortable with doing those sorts of things yet, I wouldn't advise this at all. Now, if I haven't scared you away, the first thing we're going to do is look at what this trick is trying to accomplish, and we're trying to get from this grotto into the back Deku Palace grotto. So if we just, this is a picture from ZSR, and if I just draw attention to this one here, these Swamp Gossips, you can, this is basically the way you start here. This is where I am, just in front of the warp, and you can see that the back Deku Palace is literally upright, or as far as Link's concerned, back left of him. But just to the left of Link, or to the right on this picture, is the Ocean Gossips grotto, which makes this trick kind of annoying, because you can clip into this, and you might think you're in this one, but you're actually in this one. And this one will not work, and yeah, it's not good for your explosive count, basically. It's a reset. So with that out of the way, you now know that what you want is a back left situation, where you're going to end up somewhere over there, not here. So let's get to how this trick is done then. I'm gonna load back into the swamp here, Swamp Grotto. And this is going to be slightly different if you're on Japanese or English. I'm running on the English version of the game, so I don't need to slash my sword here, but the Japanese version doesn't have any damage stored in their power crouch stab, so won't have any damage stored in ISG. So if you're on English, you can literally just turn around and do the trick from there. If you're on Japanese, I would advise a slash and then a shield to make sure you don't go very far, and then turn around. Now, lots of other strats mainly use like a side hop, a slash, and a jump slash, and go here, and then you can do the trick. But I found that's quite inconsistent for me personally, because you can get different hover heights that affect various different things, and I just don't like the inconsistency that you can get. So what I'm going to do is basically, it's more of a visual cue kind of trick of when to backflip. So if you're on English, the first thing you're going to do here is just turn around. If you're on Japanese, a slash, then turn around, get ISG, hold down left, and then when you hit this tree branch, you're going to do just a straight backflip down. And that's a really nice visual cue I found that I saw there. I saw Enop actually do this, and I assumed that it was like the pro strat, it was really difficult, but I actually really like that visual cue a lot better than just looking at bomb flashes. So if we do that again, so again, come in, turn around, get ISG off the bomb, get ISG, down left, as soon as you hit the branch, backflip, and then you just do 2 down left, 2 backflips. This down left bit is a bit weird. It can depend on your notch whether you just get a side hop or a down left backflip. So you are going to have to test that out on your notches, because this is a brand new controller for me, so my notches are pretty decent. Yours, it could be more of like a slightly down from down left, sort of this sort of area, or it could be straight down left. If it's straight down left, you have won the diagonal lottery. So 2 of those, and hopefully, if you've got the right hover on the first bomb, you should be hitting the skull and killing it with the second shoe. That's very important, because the skull can mess you up for the next part of this trick. An alternative to that, if you are low on chews or anything, if you want to save a chew somewhere, you can get ISG, hold down left, hit the tree branch, and then get a hover off the skull, and then get back onto here. But now you need to be aware that this skull is still alive, and you are going to have to do this next trick either very quickly or wait a cycle. because I'm going to stand up here. This is where you're going to be hovering, and we're going to watch what happens when he falls down. Yeah, that. So, especially if you're sat there with a bomb, trying to hover for the next part, he can be really annoying. So that's the first part. We're just going to do that again, but I'm going to do the Japanese variant. Or what I do if I was playing on Japanese, I would target / hold shield to stop myself from moving very far. Turn around, get ISG off the bomb. Press A, target, hit the tree branch, backflip, 2 hovers, backflip onto the branch. So now the skull's dead. We're going to come over here and target this wall. We're going to pull a bomb and back walk. And then when we're at the highest point, we're going to hover. This bomb hover isn't too precise, and I'm going to get to why this whole trick really after this point isn't too precise, as long as you know how to adjust. So then once you've done that, you can be further away than I was, you can get a higher hover than that, it's not really relevant as long as you're not on that tree branch anymore. Then what you're going to do, you're going to backflip and do a chew unlock mid-air. Then you're going to do an angle adjustment up left. Now this is kind of finicky because you need to be good with angle changes, and it's done by holding like ESS up, so he's like walking like this, and then going neutral for a second, and then holding the direction. But what most people do is just that, and then just mash the direction they want to go in. It's good for turning down as well. You can do that, and then just mash down, and he'll do that. But that's basically how angle changes work. So you're going to hold like ESS up left, and then just mash up left, and then target. Now this is quite a sharp angle. You want somewhere so that Link's head is in between the two, like it's making a triangle with the branches. You want somewhere like that. But this will still work, and this is why the trick isn't too precise, because you can adjust. And what you're going to do from here is 2 straight hovers down. You can do this with chews, or you can do this with bombs. Now with chews, this is a bit trickier. You need to be comfortable with quick hovers so that your chews don't run away from you, and this is why Japanese has to slash down below so that you have damage on your sword. So I'm going to do 2 chew hovers, and that's why you need to be quick on the chew hovers. Okay, so once you've angle changed, you're going to have a position kind of like this, where you see you're in between like the 2 main branches. If you're at an angle like this, it means you're going to have to do some adjustment in the mega flip that's coming up. If you are, so if you're facing more left than Link is, you won't have to do as much adjustment, and if you're facing more right, you're going to have to potentially do a lot of adjustment, basically. Because if you remember, we don't want to clip into Ocean Gossips, which is directly on our left now. Because we're going to try and mega flip out of bounds and hug the Swamp Gossips wall. So from here, we're going to do 2 directly down chew flips. And then this is where you need to have a decision, because from here you can mega flip and it will work. But what I personally like to do is get a bit more height. So I use 1 bomb hover, get a bit more height, so that I'm not clipping into the tree at all. Okay, so when you're in this position, you're going to be doing a mega flip. And I'm not going to go through mega flips in this video. They are kind of easy to learn. Buffered anyway. Unbuffered, they're a bit trickier. A bit of a crash risk as well. But we're going to be hugging the left wall of this grotto, because remember, we don't want to go into Ocean Gossips, which is directly on our left. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull a bomb. We're going to roll on a correct frame. Remember that the buffering is very quick here, so watch it. And then we're going to do a mega flip. We're going to hug this wall. We're going to untarget halfway. And this is where you need to get a bit of a feel for this trick, because this angle here, if I mega flipped, would probably work, but I don't really want to risk it, so I'm just going to change just slightly to more of there. And then we're going to do a second mega flip. And we are now in Swamp Gossips. And we know this because we are at a direct angle back left from this grotto. Now, Ocean Gossips is over there. We've missed it completely, which is really good. And now we just need to find our way to the Sonata warp zone, which is going to be somewhere over here, yeah. Okay, so now we're on this branch again. I'm just going to go through the fact that this branch is really finicky. It's you can get stuck on quite a few places on here. It doesn't look like it, but if you come over here and you try and like turn around too quickly, you can get weird cameras and things like that. So I just recommend taking your time, targeting, pulling the bomb, then back walking. And again, if you don't hover enough, you're gonna get stuck like this, and your next chew flip is not gonna take you far enough. So this kind of situation, you're gonna have to do two chew flips to get into a decent position. And this is actually a good time to point out that this angle here is kind of in the zone of, it's kind of iffy about whether you're going to need to adjust a lot. Because the further right that you are, so I'm going to actually adjust this so we are quite far right, like over here. So nice, nice, nice. Okay, let's get back up to here. That was really unlucky. So let's do this again. And there you go. You see what happened there? If I try to turn around too quickly, the camera just doesn't let me. Yeah, so let's say this. This is quite a far right angle. We're going to be creeping into ocean gossips with this sort of angle. So we want to be careful when we're doing the first mega flip that we really try and hug the wall with our mega. We're going to be doing the two backflips, and we're going to be doing the one more that I like to do. This isn't really necessary, but you can do it if you want. And then we're going to be doing the mega. But we're going to be holding left straight away here. We want to not clip into ocean gossips, which is what we're edging on doing at the moment. So you can see we've got a really bad angle here, and we are facing completely the wrong way. So this is where you're going to have to use your bit of intuition. You know that if I turn around and actually face it over there somewhere, you know that Swamp Gossips is over there somewhere. But at the moment, we are facing the complete wrong direction for it, really. We're more like, come on, Link, come on. It's a bit more this way. We're more like this at the moment, which is all right, but it's not great. So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to sort of eyeball this angle. It's more of like an up left turn, because if you know how flat you are, it's going to depend on how much you turn. And just as dawn of the final day, we're going to up left turn in this sort of position, and we're going to actually no, we're not going to do that. I've just thought we're going to sort of get an angle that's more. Actually, no, we can do that. We can do that. So then, if we mega flip from here, I know that the grotto is somewhere back left of me. So I'm going to do a mega flip, and I'm going to go back for a bit, and then I'm going to hold straight right, try and bend the mega into the grotto. And this is where it can get quite difficult, because you're going to need to know how much you need to bend your mega by, and it's all a case of you just bashing out attempts and just figuring out where that grotto is. This mega might not work, actually. You see there, if I just, oh, it did work, and you see there I was just tapping right ever so slightly towards the end, and we just bent it directly around, if I go back to the picture actually, and we just bent it ever, so we were over here somewhere, in the middle here, and I didn't want to clip into here, so I didn't hold left straight away. I wanted to go back and then bend it left, so more of a straight and then back sort of path, and that's exactly what we want to be doing. So we're going to do it one more time. Japanese slash your sword, English don't bother. ISG, hold down left, hit the branch, 2 chew flips, and there's a good point. There's a good point. Sometimes you're not going to clip onto this branch, and it's because this clip only works if you get 3 like non-optimal hovers. If you don't know what like hover heights are, I recommend watching a video by Thiefbug that covers them really well. They're basically saying that you can get various hover heights, and some of them are the highest you can get, and some of them are the lowest. So like the highest would be something like that, and the lowest would be like that. That's more of a distance. But I'm going to link his video in the description, so check out that, because it's going to be useful for Sonata hover after this as well. So you basically can't have 3 of the highest hovers because you won't clip. I don't know why. Someone else will know that. But that's basically what the point of that was. And if you, when you understand those hover heights, go back and look at what I just did, and you'll see that I got 3 of the highest hovers possible, and that isn't going to work. So let's load back in. So one thing I do want to say with this initial hover is that don't try and preempt the branch coming up. Just hover when you hit it. A lot of people, well, me especially when I was learning this, they try and preempt the branch, and a lot of tricks actually try and preempt the visual cue when there is one. Don't do it. Just look for when it is, and then hover. Don't try and guess when you're going to hit it and then backflip. See it, then backflip. Don't try and guess when you're going to see it, basically. This is a weird angle. So say we have an angle really straight. Kind of like, if I do more like this, actually. If I bring it over here. Like this. This is actually really good because you don't really need to adjust much in this. You don't need the angle change at all. So say I do 2 backflips. I'm actually going to do a mega flip from here. No, I'm not. I can't see the bomb at all. So I did a down left bomb flip there, so I just get out of that branch. You can do down left and down right bomb hovers to adjust where you move, just to make your camera better, really. It's not vital to the trick. So if we do a mega flip here, and you'll see we didn't need to hold left at all because we're going to hug this grotto anyway. And this is a really easy one now because all we're going to do, we're just going to turn slightly there, really, and we're going to do a mega, and we're going to get into the grotto. I'm not trusting that. And there we go. And the warp's somewhere like over here. You're gonna find your own cues to know where it is. But yeah, that's pretty much it really for the trick. Some troubleshooting stuff as I've gone through before. If you're not clipping onto that, look at hover heights, see what you can do. It could be that you're hovering too high, and it could be that you're hovering too low. So if you're hovering too low, make sure that you're doing your 3rd hover quickly before this guy comes down and messes you up. Don't try and preempt this because I'm going to show you what happens if you try. So turn around. Get ISG. I think it's there. No, it's not. So that's what's going to happen, and you're going to waste explosives. So now that we've gone through getting onto that branch, it's either too high or too low. Once we're actually on the branch, oh magic, black magic. So say you went for the 1 bomb hover, 1 chew hover, and then a hover off this guy here. So as I've already said, he's gonna, if you are over here when he falls down, he's gonna hit you like that. So what can you do basically to make this not be bad? So I'm going to get ISG, just because I'm up here I used a hover code. So we're going to wait for him basically to drop. So you can actually hear him. So when he drops, I'm going to pull the bomb and back walk. And you're going to kill him like that. And so you just need to wait basically. You're going to backwalk when you hear the skull dropping noise, and then you're not going to get hit, because he can't hit you on the way up, but he can hit you on the way down. So the frame window for this is going to vary quite a bit, depending on how and when you got ISG. Usually, the frame that you want to look for is either this red frame here, the first frame this goes red. If you got first time ISG, this red frame when you're near the branch is always going to be in a similar sort of position. But the frame I like to move for is when Link's feet, after hitting the tree, are crossed. So the first frame that the tree actually pushes Link backwards. And you see the camera moved, but Link didn't. Now this is the frame I always aim for when I'm buffering. Because it's extremely consistent to get the next hover. And there we are. But as I say, this red bomb frame is pretty good too if you get first time ISG. So it's not this one because we're not actually at the branch yet. is this one here, which happens to coincide actually with the feet crossing as well. So this is good. And there we are, onto the branch. So that's the sort of visual cue you can look for. Either where his feet cross on this this branch here, or the first red frame when Link's actually touching this branch. And you'll get a feel for that. But in general, I would always advise going for this. I'd always advise going for this unbuffered, just because you can get a better feel for the trick when you just hit that branch. And it's not very hard to get consistent at that. And getting onto this branch, I think, is the most inconsistent part of this trick. The rest of it is just mega flip adjustments. You can even do an extra mega flip if you're feeling unsafe. So you can do 2 over in that corner. But I don't think that's necessary. I think that you should have, if you're good at mega flips, you should have all the skills you need. So I think that concludes this. If you've got any other concerns about learning this, drop a question either here or ask the Majora's Mask speedrunning Discord, because they're going to be a lot more knowledgeable on specific things than me. But yeah, this is Swamp Gossips. I will probably be doing things like Sonata Hover and maybe the Woodfall boss key skip. But yeah, I hope it was somewhat helpful, and yeah, cheers.